guys, welcome back to Watch the Time. So today I've got my first Orient watch on the channel. Quite happy about that. I do quite like Orient. I did own one probably a couple of years ago. It was after I started the channel, but quite some time before I actually got back doing the channel, because obviously, as you probably know, I only got back to doing the channel sort of mid-November last year. So unfortunately I didn't get to put that one. I think it was the Mako 2 Pepsi that I had before, but this is called the Orient Commuter. I will put the model number in front of me. I don't want to keep looking down, that's a bit rude. And also the model number is a fair old whack, to be honest. I'm not just going to be like this the whole time. So yeah, I'll leave it below me so you can see what the model number is, and I will say it whilst I'm doing the video once we've got the watch in hand. Really like this watch. I don't know how much it retails for, because it's fluctuating all over the place. So I got it on Amazon. I bought mine for £70, but I think I've had a bit of a touch. They look like about 80 to 110 you can get it for, which is probably $130-ish. I like it. A bit big, I'll grant you, but I think value-wise, it's definitely a proposition in terms of a good-looking automatic watch for under £100. Like I said, 70, it'd be probably $100 this watch. So you're looking at sort of AliExpress money for a recognised brand in Orient. So I think this could be a contender. So as I said, for all intents and purposes, I'm calling this the Orient Commuter, just because, as I say, I can't put the model number up in there, and it's also a bit of a mouthful. So Orient Commuter, it is from me. But yeah, hope you're all doing well. Thank you for tuning back in. And without further ado, let's get the camera turned around and get on with it. Hi guys, so this is the watch. As I said in the brief intro, for all intents and purposes, I'm just going to call it the Orient Commuter, as it's better known. But the model number is RA-AA0C02L19B. So that's the model number. And yeah, it's, as I say, I bought mine on Amazon. I paid £70 at the time. Seems ridiculously good price. And when I look at other places, they are a little bit more. And I can see why you might even pay a little bit more for it. It's actually a really, really cool watch. But this is the packaging it comes in. It comes with the hand winding mechanism manual and stuff, just to give you an idea of how to use it, which is cool. And this is the box. Pretty standard box for Orient. I've had other watch and it came in a very similar box. The tang I've taken off already, and it's got an international guarantee at the bottom. Probably unsigned. It's normally unsigned, but that's no issue. And then you're left with the watch. It comes on a pretty reasonable pillow as well, actually. Not just a bit of foam. It comes on a pretty decent pillow. And let's just get rid of that. And then this is the watch. So yeah, as I say, £70 for an Orient watch, and it's an automatic watch. So as you can imagine, I snapped it up pretty quickly. The movement inside is their own proprietary movement. It's an automatic movement. It's the Orient Calibre F6922. It has 22 joules, 21,600 beats per hour, or vibrations per hour, whichever you like, and there's a power reserve of approximately 40 hours. And it does have hacking and hand winding, guys, which is phenomenal for the price. I think you'll agree. The case material, so that would be the case, the fixed bezel crown, the outer part of the case back, bracelet and clasp, are all 316L stainless steel. The case back, as I said, alluded to a moment ago, the outer part is stainless steel. It's an exhibition case back, and lets you look at the movement, and it's not the worst movement I've ever seen. They've even signed the rotor, which is a nice touch. The specs of the watch: the thickness is 12mm thick. The case diameter from one side to the other side is 42mm. It's 45 if you include the crown. The lug to lug is 22mm, and lug width is 22mm, and lug to lug, tip to tip, is 48mm. So not a small watch, but where it's only 48 lug to lug, it does sort of hug the wrist a little bit more, which is good. If that was bigger, there could be huge problems. I think it would be a bit too big. As I said, the bezel type is fixed, and it's a brushed bezel you have on there, which is in keeping really with the rest of the case, because the rest of the case is all brushed. Apart from where it goes from the bezel, there's a slight gradient from in between the case and the rest of the bezel where it's polished, which is actually really nicely done. The crown type is push-pull, and it's a signed crown. As you're going to make out the Orient logo there, and it's push-pull. Yeah, it has a push-pull crown and signed, as I said. The strap material, as I said, is stainless steel, but they are folded links, rolled links, whichever you want to call them. I'm not a big fan. The brushing on the outer part of the bracelet looks quite nice, given the price. And you don't only have a press clasp, but you do have 2 safety pushers, one each side. And yeah, it feels quite reassuring when you push it in. It feels like it will hold quite nicely. And the clasp also has Orient and the logo on it. The crystal covering that blue sunburst dial that you have on it is a mineral crystal. Just a flat bit of mineral crystal, no distortion there. I don't think it's even got any AR coating, but again, the price we're talking at, I think I've got to be quite, my expectation need to be a little bit managed. The water resistance on this watch is 50 meters, so pretty safe, but I wouldn't go swimming with it. Yeah, because it's not gonna. I wouldn't say it's quite a swimming sort of watch, but 50 meters would be good every day if you do washing up and stuff. And the weight of this watch, measured on my scales, was approximately 136 grams, give or take. But yeah, let's look at the dial. It's got a minute track running around the edge. It's got applied indices, and on the inside of those indices, you've got lume pips. At the 12 o'clock, you've got the Orient logo with Orient automatic, and down at the 6, you've got water resistant. And at the 3 o'clock, you have the day-date combination, so that's good. So it gives you that sort of functionality in terms of telling you the day and date. And the lume is not terrible on this watch either, guys. So I've really tested it prior to filming, and for a dress watch, it's pretty decent, to be honest. It's not amazing, but it's pretty decent. You can't expect much more for a dress watch. And as I said a moment ago, where it's got hacking hand winding, so you can hand wind it, pull the crown all the way out, the movement stops, and if you put it back into the first position, which I'm never really very good at, you can change the date. I'll just scroll through back to where I was. But yes, easy as that, guys. And yeah, obviously you can also change the day, which I'll show you in a second. So if you change the day, just go the opposite way. And I think the other part is in Spanish. I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, so, but yeah, works really well, guys. I've got to say, to have a hacking hand winding movement for £70 from a recognised brand, I think this watch is definitely a contender. I never heard of the Orient Commuter prior to doing this watch, but yeah, one worth checking out. But yeah, let's get it on the wrist. As I say, I'm not sized it yet. I'm probably going to have to take 2 or 3 links out of it, I would say, for my 7¼ inch wrist. So it probably goes up to over 8 inches and down to probably 6. So it normally gives you sort of 2 inches scope, which is normally enough for most people, which is handy. And that's what it looks like on me. Not a small watch, I think you can agree, but where it conforms quite nicely, and where the lug to lug's not too big, and it slopes down a little bit at the lug, it fits reasonably well. But yeah, let's go on to the things I think are pants and Pukka. So we're going to start with pants, as we always do. So what I would say is the size. Yeah, it's a bit big, 42mm for a dress watch, and there's not a huge bezel, so the dial looks humongous. That's going to be a bit of a problem for a lot of people. I can understand that, but I think maybe for the price, you might be able to forgive them. The lug width, again, 22mm, and it looks big on the watch. Even though it's a 42mm watch, that lug does look a bit big. I would have had it as a 20mm personally. But yeah, the lug width, I think, is a bit too big. I think it looks big on the watch as well. So yeah, I would have gone for a 20 on that. And the bracelet, like as I say, I'm trying to manage my own expectations, but I do not like roll link bracelets. I've got to say, I don't know if any of us really continue to wear them, especially if you've got hairy arms like myself. They pose a bit of a problem. So in terms of what I think is pants, I'd go with the case size, the lug width, and also the bracelet in terms of the rolled links. What I think is Pukka, I'll definitely go with the movement. 22 joules automatic hacking hand winding movement for £70 from a recognised brand. I don't think you can knock it. The dial, in terms of the layout, in terms of the sunburst dial, in terms of the date window down at the 3 o'clock with the day date, I think is very, very good. I really like the crown guards as well, guys. I think the crown guards are perfect in terms of still allowing you to access the crown, but also offering enough protection. I think they're done extremely well. As I've mentioned a moment ago, the lume as well. The lume is pretty good for this dress watch, and one that would definitely last a little while during the night after being charged for a while. And the price, as I say, £70. I will leave a link to where I bought it on Amazon, but obviously do shop about. But £70 for an automatic watch from Orient, I think is outstanding value for money, to be honest. So I'd go with the movement, the dial, the crown guards, the lume, and the price is very, very good. So would I recommend this watch? I certainly would. I think for the price, it's not to be sniffed at. If this is what you're going to venture into for your first automatic watch, given that the price, I do not think you'll be disappointed, because obviously the exhibition case backs let you have a good look at the movement, and where it's hacking hand winding, you can set the time. And this watch could definitely make you catch the bug for watches, because I called it off a Seiko 5, but this has a very similar aesthetic, if not done a little bit better, if I'm being brutally honest, in terms of the movement and stuff. But as always, guys, let me know what you guys think in the comment section about this watch, and maybe any other watches you might want to see. And I do really appreciate you tuning back in. Okay, guys, so as I always say, don't forget to like and subscribe, and always watch the time. Take care, all the very best.